Okay, this is 10.1 graphing quadratics in vertex form day 2. So number 1, we have the equation f of x equals negative x minus 1 quantity squared minus 6. So in this equation, some things you need to note are that the 1 and the negative 6, that is your vertex. So your h is 1 and your k is negative 6. This little negative right here, that represents a negative 1, which is your a. So a is negative 1. Now from that information, we know our axis of symmetry, we have to use our h values. So the axis of symmetry is x equals 1. And our vertex is 1, negative 6. Because axis of symmetry is supposed to be x equals h, and our vertex is hk. Our table, well, we have to make our own table, so make a table. Your table needs to have 5 values. You're going to put your vertex in the middle. So 1, negative 6 goes in the middle. Now when you write your numbers on either side, you're going to pick numbers on either side of 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, and if we go the other way, we have 0, negative 1. Now, when you're using your equation, right here where x is, that is where you're going to put these values in your equation. And we practiced this last time. So what you're typing in your calculator is you're going to type negative parenthesis. This little box represents these numbers. And then minus 1 parenthesis squared minus 6. That's what we're going to type in. So when you type it in, you should get negative 10, negative 7. We don't have to do the middle because we already have that. So the type in 2 and you get negative 7 again. And 3, you get negative 10. Now we're going to plot. So negative 1, you're at negative 10. Zero, you're at negative 7. 1, you're at negative 6. 2 is negative 7. And 3 is negative 10. So you see how those points follow that nice parabola curve? That's what we're going for. And then we also need to draw in your axis of symmetry. Your domain will always be negative infinity to infinity because I'm never going to give you any type of crazy parabolas where that's not going to be the case. And then your range is going to be from, well, if we look, it starts at negative 6 and then goes down. So it goes from negative infinity to negative 6 with a bracket, square bracket. Okay, number 1's done. Moving on to number 2. This one is a little bit tricky because we don't have it in vertex form, or so we think. This equation is the same as f of x equals 1/4 x plus 0 squared plus 1. So our h is 0, our k is 1, and our a is 1/4. But remember, we can write 1/4 as 0.25. So when you're typing your calculator, if that helps you to do the decimal, you can type in 0.025 instead of 1/4. Okay, so our axis of symmetry is x equals 0. Our vertex is 0, 1. So right away, we actually could put this on the on our graph. There's my axis of symmetry. There's my first point, our table. Now put your vertex in the middle, 0, 1. Numbers on either side of 0 are -1, -2, and then 1, 2. Now type that in your calculator. So in your calculator again, remember, just think of your x as like your little placeholder for what you're going to type in. So you could do 0.25 squared plus 1. So 0.25 -2 in parentheses squared. 0.25 -1 in parentheses squared. And just fill your numbers in. So when we do this, we get 2, 1.25, 1.25, and 2. And if we wanted to continue, we could even add in an extra point, just since this is not a lot. You could do 3. Or if we don't do 3, if we go to 4. If you plug 4 and then you end up getting 5. So that's another nice number. You don't always have to keep going, but sometimes it is nice to have some extra numbers in. So -2, 2, -1 is 1. So like right there. So this is why I kind of added that extra number in, because when you go to 4 and you get some extra points in it, just makes it look a little bit neater. Okay, our domain is -infinity to infinity. Our range, well, if we look, we're starting at 1, and then we're going up. So it's going from 1 to infinity. Okay, number 3. So our vertex is at 5, 2. Remember, it's always the opposite of whatever's next to the x. So that's -5, so you're going to have +5. Axis of symmetry follows that x value, so it's x equals 5. Our a is just a 1. That tells us it's going to be a minimum opening up. It's going to look like a smile. Our table so put 5, 2 in the middle, and then plug numbers on either side. So 6, 7, and then 3, 4. Now again, when you type it in, think of this little x as your spot where you're going to plug in. So what you're going to type in your calculator is parentheses 3 minus 5 parentheses squared plus 2. And then continue on. So the next one is not going to be 3, but it's going to be your next number, 4 minus 5 squared plus 2. So we get 6, 3, 3, 6. Now, if your numbers are not the same as the other side, like if they're not mirror images of each other, then you type something wrong in your calculator. So you need to go back and check and see. So you either say that you got 5 here. So then either this one is wrong or this one is wrong. So I would just go back and check both of them to make sure you didn't make a mistake typing in. So now let's plot. So we are at 3, 6, 4, 3, 5, 2, that's our vertex. 6, 3, 7, 6. Now, connect them. Make sure your lines are neat. You're having them go through your coordinates. If they're not, then redo it. Fix your line. Make sure you're doing arrows at the end, and then don't forget to also include your axis of symmetry in down the middle. Now, this point right here, that's all the way at the bottom, remember that is called your minimum. That is the lowest point of your graph. So your range, negative infinity to infinity for domain, and then your range is starting at 2, going to infinity. So make sure you have that bracket since 2 is on your graph. So 2 is on your graph, so you need a bracket. Okay, number 4. So we have negative 2x plus 3 squared plus 9. So our vertex, so this is a plus 3 and a plus 9. So your vertex is going to be the opposite, negative 3, but still a plus 9. Okay, so it was the opposite of what's next to your x. Your axis of symmetry is x equals negative 3. And then our A is negative 2. The negative 2 means it's going to be pointing down. So that means we're going to have a maximum for a vertex. So we have negative 3, 9 right in the middle. And do some points on either side. So negative 2, negative 1, negative 4, negative 5. Now plug it in. If you're going to plug it in, you're going to do negative 2, comma, negative 5 plus 3, or parenthesis, parenthesis, squared plus 9. And then the next one, you're going to just type in the next numbers. So negative 4. Then go again with negative 2, then again with negative 1. So make sure you're typing it with your parentheses and typing exactly the way it's supposed to be. So when you do that and you plug in, you get 1, 7, 7, 1. Now we have our points we can plot. Now remember I said at the beginning that this was going to be a maximum. That means our graph should be pointing down like a frown. Our domain is negative infinity to infinity, and our range, well, it's from negative 9 going down. That means it's going down to negative infinity. So negative infinity to 9 with a bracket.